Bobblehead dolls. Whether you're a sports fan or not, you know what they are, and chances are you have a couple. Baseball teams, well, they give them out all the time. And thanks to the Porterville Little League, there's now one of Monte Moore. Here's tonight's Fiat of Fresno Sideline Spotlight.
When I first started out in the 1960s in the major leagues, the bobbleheads were not made for individual players. They were just a team bobblehead, a generic type of a face.
This one is quite detailed, and it looks like the picture. Monte Moore about 35 years ago when he was a broadcaster for the Oakland A's.
I feel very flattered that they chose to do one, and the kids all seem to be happy to get the bobbleheads when we passed them out. My daughter down in Texas put something on her Facebook that her dad was going to have a bobblehead, and before it had been on there 2 hours, there were 53 people. 53 people responded, well, how do I get one?
They can't, unless they know someone in the Porterville Little League who's willing to give one up.
We can only order 50 more, and those are like quadruple the price. We had to order them when we did it. 550, that our max was 600, so this is it.
And they did it for Monte Moore, who's lived in Porterville since he retired from the A's in 1978.
We want these young kids, whether they're in T-ball, whether they're, all the way up to 14, 15 years old, to realize who is in our community that has done so much for the sport of baseball. I was very pleased. I like what it says on there, the World Series champions.
Yes, and it's just that kind of a night too, Kurt. These two teams, though they haven't scored in the World Series.
The jacket is one I never wore. I'll say that. They took a red and white jacket that I wore in the World Series in 1974 and a picture from that and changed it from red to green and gold. But I'm happy with that because that's my colors. I love them.
And 40 years later, for his role, Monte Moore has now been miniaturized and immortalized.
For me to have one, never.
By the way, if you happen to watch yesterday's A's-Giants game, you might have noticed the Monte Moore bobblehead made a cameo during the TV broadcast. It was next to a Reggie Jackson bobblehead promoting the upcoming 1973 World Series reunion game.